Hello, everybody. It's gonna be just me tonight. Michael had something else he was doing, so that was fine. I had some schoolwork I was working on and had to finish that up. So instead of doing something on techniques, takedowns, anything like that, I'm gonna give you a kind of a breakdown of some stances. We always talk about stances, but we never really show you what the stances are. It's assumed that you should know it if you're in martial arts, but if you're not, this is to kind of help you out. Stances, we get into them. We do them in kata, and we do them to demonstrate a technique. But there's the thing about stances is they're kind of like a short part of whatever you're doing in any technique. So, when you do a front stance should actually be like this. I'm not sure if you can actually see my feet well enough, but your feet should be about shoulder and a half width apart. Your front foot should be straight, knee over the toes, knee bent, back leg slightly bent, feet, you can do it two ways, foot facing forward and foot at a 45-degree angle. Both are right. That's not a wrong one to do. I try to be honest with you. If something isn't right, it doesn't work. Not like it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for like a lot of people. Then I'll tell you, don't do that because it doesn't work. If there's a variation in something such as the front stance, I'll give you both variations and I'll tell you neither one is wrong. They're both right. It's just, as you can say, it's a comfortable, being comfortable in the stance. For instance, this stance is usually used for punches. And normally you're going to be punching with the foot you're stepping with. There are times where you actually do punch with the backhand while you're in this stance. This is also where your blocks come in. You're going to step in to a front stance and do the block. That's where that comes from. So your front stance that's a simple one. You just step out and into it. I say that I've been doing front stances for 20 something years. You just kind of drop into it. Another stance, and next week we're going to be talking about Heian Pinan Shodan. I'm sorry, I apologize. That kata goes by Heian Shodan, it goes by Pinan Shodan. It's the same kata, just different parts of the martial arts. Kempo, Kosho Kempo usually goes with the Pinan katas. So we go Pinan katas. So it's Pinan Shodan, and there are really two stances that are used in that predominantly, one being the front stance, because you're walking through 1, 2, and then you have back stances, and those are usually toward the end. And a back stance is, at least in Kempo, other systems will tell you it's 60-40. Kempo, it's 50-50. But the main point is, it doesn't matter 60-40, as long as your center drops down. I say this because there are many ways to use this stance in doing techniques. You always do, looks like a shuto with it. But if you're stepping forward on somebody and going into a back stance, you're putting them over your leg and dropping them down. So that's why you have to drop in that stance. Another one would be stepping back, which is, at that point, you're pulling the person down here. In Pinan Shodan, you actually step out at a 45-degree angle and do that. You go 90, 45, and the reason for that is you're actually putting someone through an arm bar, but we'll discuss that next week. Another stance that is commonly used is what they call kibadachi. This one, it's called a straddle stance. Some people like to get really low. Some people, they pretty much almost sit on the ground. If you get double shoulder width apart, drop your knees, make 90-degree angles, fist here, you're good. Hold that stance for a bit, you're going to strengthen your legs a lot. What is that stance used for? Not for fighting. I do not see a reason to actually ever fight somebody from down here. However, if I pull them down and I've got them here, that's a great stance to be in. By the way, I want to point this out. When you get into this stance, you need to bring your pelvic bone forward and straighten your back. Don't lean forward in that stance. If you lean forward and you're in that stance, down here is not good. You can be pulled forward. And the whole point of the stances is stability. There are a lot easier stances. You have what they call neko ashidachi, which is a cat stance. Basically, you put your foot on the, you put your, stand on the ball of your foot on this one. And it lines up heel to heel. And you're here, and this one is actually to do kick shrimp. It's to actually grab a hold of somebody, deliver a kick, and drop it down. What are some other stance? Another stance, we use this, I use this one to fight from. I teach people to use this to fight from. And it's actually called hachiachi dachi. It's pretty much a modified front stance, but they call it hachiachi dachi because your feet form the number 8 in Japanese, which is hachi. So hachi, ashi, dachi, 8 foot stance. So we call it figure 8 stance. It makes a little bit more sense because you can actually do a figure 8 between your feet. What other stances would be good to go over? Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's you do this, but you don't really do it too often. It's called the cross leg stance. I'm gonna step back a little bit, see if I can get this whole thing in here. This one is usually done as you're either stepping in on somebody or in the kata as you step around or a throw. And we'll get into that next week because there's a couple of those in Pinan Shodan. Let's see. This front stance, back stance, kibadachi, cross leg stance, hachiachi dachi, horse stance. That's that one there. Those are pretty much your basic stances. Um, Kimbo, we had like the old man stance. Most important stance of all. It's just called Yodachi. That one is basically you feet shoulder width apart, edges of your feet straight, you lift your pelvic bone up and you bring your fist in front of you. It's called, that's Yodachi or ready stance. And if you pretty much notice when Michael and I do anything, we get in front of each other and we prepare ourselves. And everything is done from this stance. That's because that's where everything is supposed to happen from. From here we drop into back stance or step into front stance. Shift into cat stance, whatever it takes. From that Yodachi you can move into every other stance. While I'm at it, I might as well talk about it because I don't have it on the floor. I don't really utilize it in here because it's all like in my mind. It's up there. And that is the 8 directions of movement. We don't talk about it. I always talk about stepping off line or stepping up, stepping at a 45-degree angle. And that all comes from the 8 directions, which is when you're in combat, when you're fighting, there's directions to move to escape and step in on the opponent, step away from the opponent, redirect the opponent, whatever it takes to actually try to get the opponent to stop fighting. And that has to do with stances as well. So if you're in a ready stance, I want you to picture on the floor kind of like an asterisk looking thing. You're going to have a front and back, side to side, and 2 45-degree angle lines that meet right in the middle. And you're in the middle. So your first move would be to step forward. You can step into a front stance, step into a back stance. Any of the stances that we went over, if you want to practice moving in any direction, you think 1, 2, then you have 3, 4. I just looked my mats. 5, 6. I did it again. I am doing good with that. And then 7. Or I'm sorry. 7, 8. And I want to point out that whatever direction you're facing forward, when it says back, you're stepping back. You're just stepping back. You're not stepping in that direction. That's important because if I'm using the step back, someone's coming at me, and I'm using the step back to redirect, I want to make sure that whatever foot I have forward lines up with the technique that I'm doing, because that's going to be my power line. So if someone's stepping in, I'm stepping into a back stance, I'm stepping back at a 45-degree angle, and I'm bringing my fist around to basically capture them, pull their fist down, and then from here, work with them. One of the key things that you may want to know about doing any of the techniques that we do, and I think I brought it up, is we're not worried about knocking our opponent back. Back is good, it's okay, but the object isn't to knock them back, it's to knock them back and down, or forward and down. As the opponent is coming in, you want to be able to redirect them break their structure, so to speak. You want to break their balance. You want to off balance them so that they're going in a direction that you want them to go. The whole key point of that is if they're going forward and down, then that's better than just going forward, which they just stay upright, or just backwards, which they can come back at you with. If they go back and down, they're on the ground. A little easier to control on the ground. If they are not fighting and kicking at you or whatever, if you can get them on their belly, you've got their back, and judo people will love me for this. If you've got their back, you've got them. It's hard to get anybody off your back. My advice to anybody who lives to the ground is don't do anything to where you give up your back, because once you surrendered that, they got you. It's the truth. I've been there many times. I've been in positions where people have gotten behind me while I'm trying to get up, and it's so difficult to get off the ground and control the situation from that point. That's pretty much all I have for y'all tonight. A little short video because, like I was saying, I was doing schoolwork, I'm a little tired. It's 10:30 at night, but I wanted to give y'all something at least to work with, and just get a little bit of instruction in. So, hey, once again, if you want to reach out to me, I believe that the YouTube link is hooked to my email. If not, if you're seeing this on the Ukami Shiori Kamikai Facebook page, that's linked to my Facebook, and also Mike is an administrator on that, so you message either one of us. You can contact us through that. If you're seeing this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, and I hope that we help you either understand more about the martial arts or further your martial arts journey, and we're happy to be part of that. Hey, thanks y'all for watching. Peace. And be good to everybody out there, all right?